All right, everybody, welcome back to the
Everyone Talks.
Everyone Talks podcast.
Yes.
How you doing, Mackenzie?
Doing pretty good.
Cool.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. We got an interesting podcast for everybody.
Yeah.
It is current events.
Yes.
It is hot topics. I don't even know how to start this, but we're going to dive into the trial that is currently happening.
The defamation trial, yeah.
It's defamation.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
I guess I didn't look it up well enough, but we're going to talk about it because there's
Yeah.
still details we could dive into.
What does that word mean?
I think it means to destroy someone's
Life.
character. Life. Well, that's what's currently happening. Because technically, I'm pretty sure...
The action of damaging the good reputation of someone.
Man, look at me.
You're
look
so
at me.
smart.
Okay. All right. So I think there was already one trial.
Like years ago. That she did.
And it ruined Johnny's life.
And he lost.
He lost.
The contract. Yeah, he lost the contract with Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's crazy.
And it's so sad because he was saying, that character, was his character. He worked so hard on that to, build the character.
Yeah.
He was kind of explaining, or people were explaining, what he was saying about it, and saying that the way Jack Sparrow was not actually, how it was written. He created that character. He changed the monologue multiple times because he was building that character.
That's incredible. And he lost that.
Yeah, that's why, and that's why he hasn't gotten any movies or anything since then.
Do you remember why he lost?
She accused him of being abusive.
That's crazy.
Abusing him.
And he lost.
Because he didn't have any proof or... No, I don't think... So, I think what actually happened...
Which, granted...
She told, a reporter, some report, magazine.
And we're still
news.
looking into this. We don't know everything about this.
Yeah.
Which we're just going to talk.
It's just a conversation about what we've
learned so far.
Yeah.
Briefly, we're going to talk about this because it's currently going on. Amber Heard is currently giving her testimony.
Yeah.
She's been doing it for the last couple days, which is scandalous. I think we'll dive into a lot of that.
Yeah, we will.
But really, there's so many facets to this whole situation.
These are just our opinions.
These are just our opinions. These are just our thoughts that we're processing, and maybe they'll spark conversation between you guys to talk about things like relationships, what healthy relationships look like, healthy marriage, and not abusing the person you care about.
Yeah, if you care about them. Yeah.
So I guess we could start from, continue because we were talking about how Johnny Depp had lost and now he decided that he's going back after her.
So this time he's suing her.
Let's go. Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job.
Yeah. We love Johnny Depp. Team Johnny.
Team Johnny.
That's for sure.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, basically he lost everything because she came out and said that he was being abusive towards her, and
and so
she still now is during her trial. There's just so many things. I was watching this trial yesterday for probably an hour. I know that my child was sleeping, so it's okay. I wasn't doing anything. But I was watching, and there's some things that she would talk about, and I'd be like, that makes no sense. Okay, first of all, I have many points, okay? One, she had a bunch of pictures of, the house and glass all over the floor and, all of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why did she not take pictures of herself?
Oh, yeah, she was talking about...
She was talking about her hands were all cut up from glass, her feet were all cut up from glass. He was punching her in the face, choking her out, you would have marks. Wouldn't that be your first thought? Take pictures of what he did to me, not what he did to the house.
Yeah. Okay. So as you can tell, Mackenzie is very passionate about this.
I am because it's so dumb. I was reading the comments and it's she is the reason. Okay. I don't know. I haven't been through any of that. So, I don't really have a say, but from what people were saying, people were I am a victim of that, domestic violence. I just lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
You were saying that like she was saying.
They were saying this is the reason why women or anybody who have been in those situations don't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Because of basically people like her.
Yeah.
Who make it up.
Which is kind of scary, but most of the time we see things like flipped on its head, right? Most of the time we see a guy being thrown under the bus because of a woman, and the woman actually wins. And like you said, I think she did in the past.
Yeah.
But Johnny this time was coming around and completely flipped the script on its head. It didn't turn out to be true. And I think what we're noticing, and again, the trial's not completely over, so anything can still happen. Anything can still come to light. So we're just processing the trial as is, but we feel like there are moments in this that things were revealed. Like for me, seeing Johnny Depp, and first of all, Pastor talked about this recently at our church. Mm-hmm. We're on this sermon series. Yeah, we're on guardrails. Pastor Eddie Couples was talking about having guardrails in your life, things that would prevent something like this from happening. Yeah. Because a lot of the trial, like even when they were going into it, first thing they talked about, what was involved? Alcohol, drugs.
Like literally, like
not having guardrails with like their marriage.
Yeah.
Amber Heard was apparently caught
hanging out with other men.
And
supposedly James Franco, but James Franco came out and was like absolutely not.
Yeah, and like Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And look,
that one.
I'm shocked that something like this is blown out. Honestly, it's probably happens every day. Mm-hmm. We don't realize it, but it's blown out of proportion because they're celebrities.
Yeah.
And so we're watching them like on the front page. Like if it was other people, it probably
nobody
would care.
Nobody would care.
One because no one really cares when a guy gets physically abused.
Yeah, because they're a guy and they're like, why don't you just man up?
Right.
Do something.
Right. Like there's a YouTube video out there where it showed a woman abusing a man again and again, and women and guys would walk by. People would even cheer on a woman abusing a guy. Like, no joke. So like, they would cheer on.
Why is it that way?
I don't know. But the moment they flipped the script, everybody intervened. Like, there was a couple women that towards the end of the video, it was like a 5-minute video. Like, just no one would do anything. And towards the end of the video, they finally showed, like, a couple women. They're like, you need to treat that man right. Like, that's completely disrespectful.
Yeah, like, why is it like... I'm not going to go that way. Anyways.
Okay.
Why is that? That's so dumb.
I think because society has really set up men to be abusive. Yeah. So it's almost like retribution or payback. Yeah. And deep down inside, everybody's like, it's about time the guy gets treated unfairly. But in reality, I think...
I could go somewhere with this, but I don't think I should.
Why? Yeah. Why? I think you should. I mean, this is our space.
It's kind of like a hot topic, and it has nothing really to do with what we're talking about.
Oh, okay. Maybe we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it after.
Yeah, we can save it for another one. It's good for another one.
Okay. But
it's about marriage.
This whole idea that Johnny Depp did not have boundaries and Amber Heard did not have boundaries in their marriage, in their relationship. I
think since it's...
And now they're in the middle of a trial.
Well, yeah. I think it's because they are famous. It's like, you don't need guardrails because people are always watching.
What's so funny how they're overlooking... They're overlooking like everything because they're celebrities.
Yes. Like they're overlooking all the drugs and stuff. If normal people would have went to court... and they were like, yeah, they were doing all this kind of drugs and had pictures of it, they'd be like, okay, who cares what we're talking about? You're going to jail for the drugs. They'd be like, it doesn't matter what happened.
Yeah.
We got you for drugs.
Like, it's such a scandalous
because it's like
trial.
Hard drugs, okay? Not just like
weed. It wasn't just regular drugs.
It was like cocaine and whatever MDMA is. I don't know.
I don't know what that is.
My mom was asking me about that. I was like, I have no clue.
Unless
you're asking the wrong person.
You're the wrong person. But there's so many moments where even that, like, they would have never gotten there had they had some appropriate boundaries in their lives.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe that even shed light on the fact that no one is exempt from struggle
Yeah.
They like celebrities. We glorify celebrities so much, and we forget they're actually just human beings.
People. We put them on such a high pedestal. It's like,
and their lives are just as broken. It's
like they do one thing and people are just like straight attacking them, right?
They're broken people.
Yes.
Like straight up, and they. Even though we give them grace, like, you know, there's been moments where like Justin Bieber, or like people will like fail and we like overlook it because they have ability or talent.
Yeah.
I would almost
don't overlook it.
Here's my hot take on the whole situation. The whole situation for me just really shed light on the brokenness of people and how we excuse so many things just for love. Like, didn't Amber Heard say that you didn't believe it, but she was like, I overlooked all his issues
my God, no.
because I loved him.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's what you said. Like, that she said I don't think you believed it, but that she was overlooking her pain in the moment.
That was another point I was going to make. Okay, she was saying he did something like so painful to her, right? Like,
you don't have to say what it is.
I'm not going to say what it is, but she was like bleeding really bad, like in a lot of pain.
Graphic. Sorry, people.
I didn't say where. Anyways, she was like, you know, in pain, whatever. Like she needed to go to the hospital, right? The way she was saying, what was happening, and she was like, but I didn't think about it because I was just so heartbroken. Wait, hold on. If you were in that much, I'm pretty sure your heartbreak was not that bad compared to the pain you had. Because, never mind. But
it's crazy because that would be almost like an excuse. Like, what if their relationship had a lot of that, right? Where we would excuse someone's abuse, we would excuse someone's bad addictions, you know, really hard addictions, because we said we love them. Mm-hmm. Like, love is not totally an excuse, but it's not, because love isn't an excuse. Is not an excuse to let someone continue living in their struggle.
Yeah.
Like, if you really love someone, you should help them. You should try to find a solution.
And supposedly she said she tried, but nothing happened. Okay, well, obviously that person didn't love you. It's time to go.
Yeah.
Because a person's only going to change if they want to change.
Yeah.
They have to want to change.
Yeah, and I don't think there was a whole lot of that. That's why it got so bad. I mean, there was a point where she threw a bottle of vodka.
And, like, cut his finger off. He had to go to the hospital and get it, like, reattached. But she said he cut his own finger.
Yo, there's just like...
And that he was writing all over the walls.
Yeah, there's no...
I was like, how did he not, like, pass out from losing that much blood?
Well, if you're intoxicated, there's... I've heard stories. If you're intoxicated bad enough, you will not know that you're in physical pain. Like,
No. I'm not saying that he didn't know he was not in pain. I'm saying, she was saying he was writing all over the walls, all over the mirrors with his finger cut off, you know, whatever. Like, blood everywhere. And I'm like, oh, how did he not, like, pass out?
I don't even know.
Because he lost so much blood. If that's...
You know, there was a lot of...
Like, you can tell in her face, if you, like, just watch her talk, she's...
Yo, she's got issues. You can tell
she's got issues. Because there was even, like, a therapist, like a psychological... Whatever they're called. What are they called?
Therapist? Psychologist?
No, psychologist, right?
Yeah.
They, like, pay attention to the way people talk and act and stuff. And they were literally saying she was, like, bipolar and, like, personality disorder, like, all this kind of stuff. Like,
yeah,
she was
talking so fast.
Yes.
Like, it was almost like she was struggling to breathe. And I love what you said. She was, like, saying all these details, but she couldn't...
Yes, that's another point.
Like, say certain details.
Like, she was... The judge or whatever, the attorney, would be like, do you recall, like, this happening? And she'd be like... No, I don't remember. And then, like, go on and give, like, great detail. Like, oh, I remember my phone was sitting on the dining room table on the other side of the house. Like,
That doesn't even make sense.
Like, in one instance, it's kind of like what we were talking about earlier. But she was asking, do you remember what kind of bottle that Johnny was using?
Right.
And she was like, no, I don't remember. And she was like, do you remember if it was like wine or liquor? Like, she was like, it was a liquor bottle because the wine, this story, I remember almost every word. Because the wine's upstairs, blah, blah, blah. So then the judge or the attorney's like, do you remember what color it was, like, at all? And she was like, yeah, I remember it was clear. And she's like, okay. She's like, did you recall it having handles? And she was like, no, I know for sure it doesn't have handles because I remember Johnny kept trying to hand the bottle to me and I wouldn't take it, but he kept handing it to me and I remember seeing the bottle. She's like, but I just don't remember what brand. So you do remember what it was. Why did you say
Yeah, like, how do you not remember? Like, okay, I don't drink, but there's a lot of bottles that I've seen and I'm like, that's unforgettable. Even if you just look at the color of the style of bottle that it is, you can remember.
How do you remember all those other details, but you don't remember the bottle?
Unless it's like a super fancy brand, and they all.
How would you not remember that?
I don't know.
But there were so many other, like, another one was there was a picture of like this wall. The glass was broken. There was glass and bottles all over the floor, and there was like out of frame. They were talking about like where this was in the house, and all of a sudden she's like, yeah, and like to the left there was a phone on the wall, like a landline phone. And she was like, the judge was like, okay. She was like, proceeds to go on. She was like, it was like, go on to like detail about this phone. Like, she was talking about the material it was, and people in the comments were like, if you were getting abused, you don't remember details like that because you're not paying attention to what's going on around you.
Yeah, you're so focused on your own hurt. You're trying to like
figure out how to get away from this person, not figure out what kind of material the phone is.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's just crazy.
But again, I mean, there's so many things about this trial that's just exposing a lot about like Amber's character, a lot about Johnny's character. You know what was so funny to me was the fact that Johnny Depp is so chill.
Because he's not lying.
He's like, apparently he's been like drawing and
he's been like making jokes with his lawyer like while she's testifying because the things she's saying he will start laughing.
Yeah.
Because he like, that makes no sense.
Yeah. It's crazy. First of all, it's not crazy they're in this situation.
No.
Okay. It's not crazy.
That's what happens when like you're on drugs a lot.
Again, it's what happens when you don't define your relationship. And I don't think they defined their relationship, let alone really got to know each other, because you would know if a woman is that crazy.
Yeah.
Right off the bat.
Yeah.
Like, they probably...
But that's the other thing. She was saying that he was abusive before they even got married. But she still married him.
That's crazy.
Why the heck would you marry him?
I just don't get it.
First of all, I don't think he was abusive. He might have had anger issues, but I think that's even what he was saying. He was like, he had anger issues, but he never hit her.
That was the other thing I wanted to talk about.
Anger issues
There's a point where I think even in our relationship, we've gotten really mad, but we've never gotten to that point. Like...
I mean, that happens. Like, there are times you just get angry when you're arguing.
Yeah, but some people get like
it's
angry
not the
and
healthiest,
they start like okay, like I've done this before. I've gotten mad and like hit a door or something like that. But it's like that's when I recognize like, whoa, I am so wrong that I got that mad. And it came from protecting myself and trying to prove a point. But it was all selfish, right?
Yeah.
None of that comes from a place of being like, where are you at?
Yeah.
How can I win you? There's a book I read, and I think it's How to Win Friends, something like that. How to Win Friends, something Carnegie. I can't remember. It's been a minute since I've read that book, but they talked about that the goal should never be to win the argument. It should always be win the person.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people just want to win an argument.
But I think he did, though.
You think? Do you really think they were trying to win each other?
No, I think he was trying.
I don't know. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, because that's not where their heads were.
I mean, yes, you're right.
I think he
genuinely loved her, though. I don't think she did.
I can't. I don't know if I could speak to that just because I don't.
That's just my opinion.
I don't know the technicalities of it, but I would say that those issues happened because they, again, did not create space to have conversation and to win one another. Yeah. Because there's no way it gets this bad if you were like taking care of the red flags. You know what I'm saying?
And like another thing, she was like, people were saying she was talking like kind of highly of Johnny Depp at the beginning, like when she first started testifying, and like talking about how he was really a good man and all this kind of stuff. And people are like, if you were genuinely abused, you don't talk about your abuser like that. You wouldn't talk highly of them.
It's probably just her bipolar speaking.
That's what I'm saying. Like, all these things are like... I can't wait for, like, the cross-examination.
Maybe... Did that happen already? I thought that happened.
No, it's not happening. Because she's still testifying.
Oh, okay.
It's happening, I think, at the end of this month.
That's crazy.
And because on the video I was watching, the judge was, like, asking them about dates or whatever in, like, May, like... 27th or something like that, and she was like, that's the day when we decide, and she like laughed and smiled.
Yeah, there's a quote by Michael Jordan. The meme, get help. Okay, because when you run into situations where these issues are occurring and people are throwing stuff and drugs and alcohol, like, okay,
but it wasn't just him on drugs, she was on them too.
But
she was making it seem like it was just him.
Like, this whole situation, if I'm being honest,
it was both of them on drugs.
Nothing good, you know, here's my, I guess, my statement. Nothing good comes from marriages who elevate drinking, drug abuse, misappropriation of resources like money. Like, nothing good comes from people,
speaking of money,
who only try to get the benefit for themselves. Nothing.
No, speaking of money, okay, the last trial where she won or whatever, she got like something $1 million or something, and she was saying that she donated it all, right? So she gave like this, half of it to this place and half of it to this place, and on the place that she said that she donated it, the CEO or whatever of that company that she donated, it was like a kids something charity, and he Skyped into the test, like the trial.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, that's our time. Done. We're almost done.
This is my last point. He was on the call on the screen, and they were like, is there anything wrong with... Didn't you see that video? It was like a TikTok.
Yeah, and what did he say?
What did she ask? Is there anything wrong with... What did he say?
No.
What?
I think what you're talking about is the part where she was supposed to donate money and she didn't.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they was supposed to donate. They
called the guy, and they were like, is there anything wrong with
the payment,
donating
right?
the money that you won from your abuser or whatever?
Right.
And he was like, what money?
Yeah, we never got it.
Yeah,
we never got the money.
No.
Yeah, that, again, goes back to, like, someone who doesn't take care of the right things will always find themselves in the wrong place. Mm-hmm. And if you don't set up guardrails, maybe I'll just share what Pastor talked about, but, like, if you don't set up guardrails...
Oh, yeah.
I think your that marriage, goes back onto, in your relationships, in certain areas of your life, you're gonna run into issues. I think the tagline was, guardrails, you don't need them until you need them. Right. So, hello.
Like when you're it's like the intro video is like guardrails like on the side of the road, right?
Yeah.
They're always going to be there, whether or not you need them. But in the instance when you need them,
which
you need them.
Again, which was very ironic that Pastor was talking about that. And it was, the same time this trial was going.
It goes back on to what we talked about on our last podcast or the one before. Boundaries. I mean, it's the same thing. Whether you want to use guardrails or boundaries.
Yeah, whatever. Just what I want people to kind of take away just from this conversation, hopefully that they would have the conversation. Hey, where are some areas we could probably not open doors that should be closed. Like maybe it means not drinking. Maybe it means not going out with those friends who are leading you to do things you shouldn't do. Or maybe it means, you know, trying to show up for that friend. I don't know. There's just maybe we should just be asking different questions instead of continuing the same actions that give us bad results.
Yeah.
That's what I think we should do.
Yeah. It's just crazy stuff. If you have not watched it or anything, I definitely recommend go watching it.
Yeah, go check it out. There's a lot to learn from it.
Yes, there is. There's really a lot to learn from it. So there's some people's comments that are just so funny. Yeah.
The comments are the best. I love trolls.
I love trolls.
Okay, guys,
but look. It's great. Hold on, one more thing. It's funny because there's actually people who believe her. But anyways.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Or listening.
We really appreciate your time. And we really appreciate, first of all, that you support.
Yeah.
We really appreciate all of it. So thanks, guys.
If you have any topic suggestions that you think we should talk about.
Which we already got a couple.
Okay. If you think so, message us on our Instagram.
Facebook.
Or Facebook.
Let us know. Or comment on YouTube.
Maybe we'll put on our story. Maybe we'll have like one day, like...
What would you guys like us
to talk about? Or like 1 week, a month or whatever.
Yeah.
And like one day we just post like a question box or whatever. And like of questions.
We'll talk about it.
That we
Maybe you could do it.
Maybe that would be fun. Okay. Anyways.
Thanks guys for watching. We really appreciate you guys. Have a blessed day.
Yes.